Yo. Root hair. Clean slate. Fucking fabulous. Really is. Really cool. Okay, yeah, I just want to jump on live and, man, talk about, magic mushrooms. I'm doing a significant amount of magic mushrooms and the lessons I've learned from magic mushrooms. The power of magic mushrooms. I think the best way to learn is to teach people. We're all healers here. And the best way to heal people is to heal yourself and to teach people, whether that be through Facebook Live, social media, or even better in person, big lectures, groups of people, your friends, even one-to-one. This is the way that we teach. Truly. But yeah, I just want to say that there's, I didn't imagine much to do something else that I'm pretty excited about, which is cool. Really cool interview being lined up with a really cool dude. So that's good. Yeah. So yesterday, I've been in the Lake District for the past 3 days. Yesterday I decided to do, even though I was in the Lake District on holiday, I decided, because I was in a hotel by myself, I thought, what an opportune time to do magic mushrooms, but not like a microdose, or not even, kind of like a megadose, I guess, for me. I've never done this much. I did 4.2 G, which is very close to a hero dose. Did 4.2 G of magic mushrooms early in the morning, 20 past 9, I remember the time, because magic mushroom trips last anywhere up to 8 to 12 hours. 6 to 8, and then it kind of tapered off actually after 6 hours. It really peaks out at 3 or 4. Crazy stuff. But yeah, I learned a lot of lessons. I just want to share with you guys. If you've never done magic mushrooms, where the fuck have you been? It seems like they're going mainstream. Universities all around the world, universities are experimenting and researching heavily into magic mushrooms. Cures for depression, addictions, anything bad within mental disorders, minds of mental disorder, a fucked upness which I self-created through self-hate and self-loathing and anger at people. I fractured my mind in a way. But where have you been if you've not heard of magic mushrooms? And firstly, you might have heard of them, you might have done a little bit, but there's a difference in levels with magic mushrooms between a microdose, which is considered about 0.2 to 0.8 to 1, to a mid-level dose, which is more powerful, 1G to 3G, and to 4G, and then after 4G, you're really in the boundaries of deep healing. So, if you're new to the game, don't just rush into big doses of 4 or 5G straight away. Microdose, get used to it, be acclimatized to your journey without psychedelics, get those firm foundations set. All the magic mushrooms do is they accelerate the healing, very much so. You're an idiot if you think psychedelics are, let me just say my opinion, you're an idiot if you think, oh, I don't need psychedelics. Every time I do them, I want to do this 4.2G yesterday, which I'll tell you about my experiences, it reminds me, it just accelerates my healing to a level I can't believe. Without it, I'll be going so slow. It's so slow. It accelerates it, because it was so powerful. Like, I'll explain what some of the things that I remember, because a lot of it, I was in my hotel room, no one around, I can just do what I want for the whole day. But if you had a video camera of what I was doing, it'd be fucking weird. It'd be fucking weird. There'd be a lot of weird stuff going on. There was a lot of healing. I don't even know what I was doing half the time. I felt like my computer brain was reprogramming on a very deep, authentic level. Very powerful. Which I couldn't do manually, and it takes ages to do manually. Just another level. I was making guttural sounds. I was using it's almost like the magic mushrooms were teasing me. They were using, like I have a thing where I'm completely brain imbalanced and I'm like stuck a certain way. The magic mushrooms, at some points, it was teasing me and playfully showing me that I could expand this. I was like I'm stuck on an edge and it was showing me it was going upside down on a loop. It's hard to describe unless you're in my body. But I was making lots of guttural sounds, loads, like all kinds of sounds like that. That's an example. But it wasn't from like bad, it's from deep healing. I don't know half the sounds I was making, but the magic mushrooms were making me do it, and they were authentic to me, and very healing, very. Whenever I tried to be inauthentic, the mushrooms showed me, don't do that. Even by myself in a room, because I was struggling, guys, with authenticity, truthfully, being real with myself and other people. I mean, being authentic from a place of, not that I'm not real, it's just so much in me that's traumatic that it stops you being real to yourself, if that makes any sense. So I struggled, but anyway, it was teaching me, it was playing around with my stuck blockages and going, oh, I can go upside down and twist. It was incredible. The amount of, one thing with me I've noticed is every time I do magic mushrooms 2G, 3G, 4G, I step into a role of a higher power. Like me as a shamanic healer, I go back in my mind to people that I've been inspired by in my life, and I copy them and I visualize them and I become that. It's amazing. And this shows, and not just for a minute, it happens for quite a long period of time every time I do significant 2G above or magic mushrooms. This shows me a lot. It shows me, A, that I literally have a healer. B, I want to step into a role as a shamanic, powerful healer. C, I've got the references in my mind of how to act and embody that, but the blockages comes from my vibration being a lot too low on a day-to-day basis. But a magic mushroom lifts it up to a high level where I can access that state. That makes any sense. So now the magic mushrooms elevate my consciousness. Now I embody what I've always wanted and what I'm always working towards anyway, but I just can't access usually or very rarely because I step into my power, which is a shamanic healer. And I see other people that I've been exposed to on camps and ayahuasca ceremonies, and I'm remembering them and thinking, oh, I am them. I'm doing things like them. I'm looking up to them at a very deep level. It's becoming me. And then it shows me, oh yeah, there's something going on. So there was a lot going on in magic mushrooms. There was a deep guttural healing. Like from the gut, there was just words and words, stuff like that. It was bizarre. Really bizarre. Like all kinds of manners of sounds for ages. At one point it was like, but it felt so authentic. It wasn't faking it. It was all just like, my computer was reprogramming. My computer's been completely destroyed by me. When I was younger, as a teenager, spent about 10 years in the darkness at school from about the age of 14 to 22, 6 or 8 years. It was really dark, but the computer was reprogramming in the 4.2G. It was amazing. Oh, one thing I know, another lesson, as well as playfully undoing my blockages at that moment in time, the mushrooms, like I've got a blockage here, and it was going upside down and turning it around. It was trying to teach me, oh, it's all fun and games, Harry, you can fix this. You know, the mushrooms were fixing me. There was another thing I noticed, another huge lesson for me that I would like to share with you was, I don't often speak from the heart. I don't even, this is just something that we say a lot of the time, speaking from the heart. But when you're really fucked up, it's very hard to speak from the heart. Even now, probably, I'm not speaking from the heart. Listen, I'm trying my best. And there is a purpose, and people are getting value from me, my being, and the things that I share. But I got shown less of magic mushrooms at one point. At one point, I could talk from the heart. It was bizarre. Like, because normally I don't. Normally there's a blockage in my throat where I'm talking now, but I'm not being... I think it's to do with authenticity. There's something very powerful speaking from the heart. I mean, there's levels to this. When people say speak from the heart and all this stuff, half the people that tell you to speak from the heart aren't doing it themselves. But it's something you can't tell someone to do. It's a vibration you have to work towards. You can't just tell somebody, oh, speak from the heart, and they're going to do it. It's a journey towards speaking from the heart. It takes time to heal the heart. I think the magic mushrooms were showing me, along with this refractured and building itself back up so much, I think the heart has been closed off. Inauthenticity and heart's closure. And that's okay, inauthenticity, because I'm trying my best, and I'm actually getting myself out of it towards authentic. But the heart closure, and the heart opened up, and I was talking from the heart, and I actually literally could feel talking from here, and I've never experienced that in my life. It was amazing. This type of thing. It was the mushrooms, again, playing around with me and teaching me lessons. This is what it feels like. Just giving me a reference experience to mushrooms. Oh, this is what it feels like to talk from the heart. It was amazing. Amazing. The trip lasted about, by hour 6, it was pretty much gone. 3 or 4 was intense. And I wish there was a video camera. You would have heard a crazy man. But inside there was so much deep healing going on, because magic mushrooms are very fucking deep. Extremely deep. This is a good book, by the way. I haven't read it. I just do the stuff out reading books, but I'm going to read that now. I've done it. So that's that. Oh my god. You're an idiot if you don't fucking use magic mushrooms. Also an idiot if you just think microdosing is the way forward. You should go from microdoses and build yourself up to the bigger doses. For watching next time, I'll do the 5, the 6, the 7 to the 8. Another cool person doing them is Farusha. Shout out to you if you ever watch this. She did a 5G trip, realised how messed up she is and how much healing goes on with that, and now she's going to do an 8G. So there we go. So that's what I want to share with that. Second is a bit of good news for me. If you're watching my stuff, and I know there's a lot of traffic on Facebook, so you might have missed it. I'm big on schizophrenia and fracturing of the mind, and how they are, since I've cut this eye trip and someone sent me the link, I've come to discover that the dark thoughts that exist within you and me aren't actually us, but they're actually negative entities. They're negative, they're demons, they're spirits. They're not us. And this is never more exemplified than in paranoid schizophrenia, which the mainstream establishment has been telling us is needs to be treated with drugs, lobotomy, and the voices, and are you just being crazy? No. The voices are negative entities. And I've come to realise that through an amazing channel on YouTube, which I've shared a few times, The War of the Worlds, Mark Windows, who interviews a guy called Jerry Marzinski. And Jerry Marzinski is a psychiatrist. He's the only psychiatrist that is talking about how paranoid schizophrenics are negative entities. And he's proven it on numerous YouTubes I've seen in interviews with Mark. So you might have seen them, or maybe not, on I post them every time I talk about negative entities, and I put the link under there to Mark and Jerry Marzinski's channel. It's very unique. I love these two guys. Anyway, I reached out to Mark and Jerry, both of them, for an interview. I've just forgot to hear anything back. But Jerry Marzinski, the man himself, the psychiatrist, and as far as I'm aware, the only psychiatrist in the world, proving and talking about the fact that paranoid schizophrenia is negative entity attachment and not people being crazy, I reached out to him, but asked him for an interview. He's agreed. He just emailed me today, about 2 hours ago, for an interview. So I will be doing, I'm so fucking lucky, I'll be doing an interview with the man himself, Jerry Marzinski. I've even got his book. I've been reading it today. It's an amazing journey into the psychotic mind, breaking the spell of the Ivory Tower. So I'll finish that book off before I get an interview for him. Early December, that'll be coming, so next couple of weeks. I'll be interviewing, and I'm going to make sure I do some prep on this. I'm going to watch all of the interviews between Mark and Jerry. He's got a great story, Jerry, to prove 100% that schizophrenia... In fact, it goes deep. All dark thoughts you've ever had. For example, for me, I've had thoughts even recently when I'm like, I don't know, fiddling outside my window of like, imagine what it'd be like to jump over your window. I've even had thoughts semi-recently when people and me are hanging out on high-rise buildings and stuff or whatever, over edges. Sometimes I have the thought, what would it be like to push people over the edges? Well, that's key, because any dark thoughts you've ever had, suicide too, killing people, suicide bomber, wanted to be, or killing yourself, these aren't you. These are negative entities because your vibration is low, your mind is fractured. It allows the negative entities into your body, and then you assume, wrongly, that they are you. They never were you. Dark thoughts are never you. They're negative entities, like archons. They feed off your energies. Trevor, a great way to do it is to realise that they are not you, and then they don't control you. They only survive because you think that they are you. When you start realising they're not you, you take away their power over time, and it becomes a habit, and that's how you break that habit cycle. You start realising they're not you, then they can't control you. Isn't it? That's what, again, great question. I'll be asking Jerry more about it, because I'm going to go in with my basic mind. Mind you, I will share with Jenny if I get the opportunity, my ayahuasca trip, my first one, only a few weeks ago, where my mind, first of all, got fractured. I was even saying in my head, my mind is completely fractured. And then afterwards, I became perverted, and negative entities entered my body. And then I shared that on Facebook. And then I can't remember his name, but I owe him a lot. Some guy on Facebook, this is why I learned so much from you guys on Facebook. One guy shared Jerry Marzinski and Mark Windows talking about negative entities, schizophrenia. And then I connected the dot, and this book, I connected the dots and thought, fuck, I got attacked by negative entities after my mind got fractured. Schizophrenia, paranoid, is your mind gets fractured. When your mind's fractured because you're low vibration, you're depressed, you don't want to be here anymore. That's when the negative entities come in. They convince you to kill yourself. But here's the thing, they don't just fucking make you do it, because it's hard to you just to kill yourself straight away. You have to build yourself up. And in that, you're having lots of dark thoughts, and they feed off that. Negative entities hate, like psychopaths. And by the way, if you want to go down the angle, this is deep. If you want to go down the angle, which I know some people have, and I don't know, well, I don't know, some might be wrong, but I mean, a lot of people have been telling me quite wisely, I guess, that that I'm wrong, that negative entities are just a part of you, and when you start healing yourself, the negative entities, you know, we're all one. Yes, I understand that, we're all one, and negative entities don't exist if we're a high vibration. Yes, if you're high vibration, they still do exist in the world, they just don't attack you. When you're high vibration, this is still an issue for people that have low vibrations. Paranoid schizophrenia, me, before, they're always going to attack you. And if you think it's, people have been telling me it's just projections, and you haven't done the work. Well, if that's true, let me tell you something that I do know. There is something in this world, in this physical world, that I can see, called psychopaths. Called not just any old psychopaths that are damaged by environment. This will maybe challenge you guys that are watching. There are beings in this world that are born not human, but they're physical and have a body. They're not damaged by environment. They're born that way. Fact. Jimmy Savile was one of them. Tony Blair was one of them. Look, I know I'm not talking about the psychopaths that are moulded by their family units. I'm talking about born that way. Tony Blair, Jimmy Savile, my brother. How do you think I know so much about them? Genetic born. I can prove it. From birth. Not from environment. From birth. From your mum's arsehole. They're born that way. So, if they're demons in the physical, why are they not demons in the spiritual? If it's just projections and in our weaknesses that are creating them in the astral to attack us, what about the physical, genetic born, look like you and me, but have no compassion, empathy? That's a huge topic. If you want to know more, read an amazing book, best you'll ever read on genetic born psychopaths, Thomas Sheridan, Puzzling People. Amazing book. Robert Hare's an expert on it. Robert Hare calls them, he's an absolute, he calls them interspecies human predators. They're human, they look human, they have skin, but there's no heart and compassion, and they're not damaged by environment, guys. Yes, some are. Some people are damaged by environment. They can be fixed. You can't fix a genetic born psychopath. I've had them in my life. I know what I'm talking about. Hello. Very lucky. I've always wanted to share this information. One of my dreams, hopefully, if I live long enough, is to talk a lot more about genetic born psychopathy through my own experience, because that's all I've ever known, and connect the dots with that amazing book, Thomas Sheridan, Puzzling People. So yeah, anyway, all off topic. Jerry Marzinski, interview, coming soon, and Magic Mushrooms. Life is fucking brilliant. I hope you got some value from this. I know it was all over the place, and yeah, life is good, huh? I'm looking forward to seeing the next few days. I feel different after this 4.2G trip yesterday. I'm going to see how it manifests. I feel more... I just knew. If you just saw the video, there was a video camera of me in my room for those 4 hours, you'd have think, fuck, there's some deep healing going on, because that's the power of the magic mushrooms. 4.2. I'll be doing a 5, a 6, a 7, and building myself up. That's what I suggest you guys do. It's very powerful. And by the way, the standard price is £10 a gram, which is about $13, $14 a gram. So you can get a really hero dose for £50, $67. The microdoses cost very little. It's very value for money too. In this realm of us, like we're not loaded. You can buy health. You can. There's some great energy devices I know about, but you can also buy cheap stuff that is amazing. Well, I consider not that expensive. Getting to the root of your problems with magic mushrooms. Because by the way, that's what was happening last night. I was getting to the root of my problems. I don't even know half the healing was going. I can't explain to you how deep the healing was. I was giving you some highlights, but it was very deep. And I like it. Or you can find them. Yep. Alright, peace.